second session. Brandon's just going to quickly talk us through the software that we're going to be using, okay, and what kind of services that Billericay Golf offer.
Hi guys, so what we've got here is the GT2 launch monitor. We're also going to be using the Foresight Sports Know Your Numbers category on the range. So this will tell Tom each one of his yardages averages from each of his clubs.
Just as I'm going through the bag, I will show you what clubs I'm using. So this here is a 58 degree. Okay, so that's my lob wedge. It's a Cleveland 588 RTX, really cheap off of Golf Bidder. So that's what I'm going to be using. Right. It's probably not far off what actually happens, but I caught that thin. We'll decide about that one later. As you can see, the short game is definitely something I'm working on because I'm struggling just to hit a lob wedge. Right, so we won't do this with every single club, but just to start with, I thought we'd show you kind of where we're at with the shots I've hit and the ones we're actually selecting to count. So I'm kind of torn between, what one was it? I can't remember. I think it was it that one, that one, that one, that one?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, okay, so what we've had here, this one I'd say I probably hit the best, but I overdrew it, so went a fair way left of the target. But yeah, I'm not really sure. Brandon, what do you reckon about which ones I should take?
So Tom's exactly correct there. Where he's overdrew this one, 94 yards, I mean, Tom's using a lob wedge. You shouldn't get as much shape on wedges, this is the issue. So if he's overdrawing stuff, it's just going to go naturally longer. As you see from these three here, they start right of line and draw very, very slightly. So they're more consistent to what Tom wants in his golf. So they're probably the three I'd pick. So between them, I'd pick all of them. I'd get rid of the 94 and the 102. And we'll pick the two 87s at the end. And that will give him what his yardage for a lob wedge carry is.
So now moving on to my pitching wedge, which is part of the TaylorMade M2 irons. They're pretty strongly lofted, so this is where we might start to see some gaps open up. That was pure. That's so good. so finally I actually got through that gapping session. Now, what I will say is that as I got down towards the end of the bag, I started getting knackered, and that's when actually some of the problems started to come. And then I had to hit more shots because they weren't really like the true strikes. This here, where obviously it says the gap wedge and the sand wedge are the same, that's my fault. Basically, I thought I'd hit my 3 sandwiches. I swapped onto the gap wedge, and yeah, started hitting it with the wrong club. So a little bit of a skew in the data there, but apart from that, I think we can take a lot from kind of everything we've worked on there. Brandon, do you want to just kind of talk us through what you saw?
Yeah, so going with it, now, assuming that this sandwich, I think we looked at it, it's about 106, which between that, what's that going to count out? Was it 106 carry, Tom?
It's about 106, yeah, when I struck it. Well,
so we're going to have about a 20-yard gap between the lob wedge and sandwich, which is very, very big. Most of his gaps early doors in his gap wedge. I mean, the sand wedge to gap wedge, that's a decent gap, but the gap wedge to pigeon wedge, that's a lot of issues. So we'll be looking at probably strengthening a few of his lofts there. But moving on to the M2 irons,
you've actually got one in your hand there.
which, yes, as you can see, I've got one of them in here. They're just, obviously, they're designed to go a lot longer. They're one of the most friendliest clubs out there. Very easy to hit. As they get longer, generally, naturally, you will start to see more shape with everything. As you can see, Tom was fine with the 9 iron and the 8 iron. He was hitting soft draws. They were quite big still, but when he got to the 7 iron, you see a massive gap start to appear because he was really starting to overdraw. The 6 iron and the 5 iron, they drew the same amount, so the gaps, they're just very similar. So he's got a bit of an issue up the top end. Also, as he said, he got fatigued towards the end, so you can see the gaps between his 2 iron and 3 wood, I don't think are necessarily true.
And I wouldn't say it's a case of, oh, I need to change them lofts up there. I mean, maybe I do. But what I'd say more is I want to straighten out that ball flight, and hopefully over the winter that's what I'm going to be working on. Because, I mean, you know a lot better, but Brandon, I caddied from yesterday, bloke's a joke, won the competition, but I sit there and watch it, and his good shot, absolute bullet straight, and actually the yardages are so much more consistent with that. Whereas for me, one of them I hit nice, one of them maybe will be a little bit straighter, but that overdraw really comes out and it's quite uncontrollable. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Obviously it's a lot more informational. Okay, we weren't out on the course, but kind of as that weather gets worse, the winter's coming in, we'll definitely be indoors as well. But hopefully you enjoyed that kind of content. Massive thank you to Brandon from Billericay Golf. I'll put their link to their Instagram and their website in the description below. But yeah, check them out. Really good facilities, excellent services they offer. Shame about the hair, but what can we do about it? But yeah, click the subscribe button, tap the notification bell. Hopefully I'll see you soon.